Had a fast car in practice. See what he can do with this one now as the laps start to tick off. This time by, it's going to be Dixon with the lead on lap 3. Dixon holding his advantage as he continues to hold sway as the leader. Has an advantage of 1.02 seconds over David Poland. Poland himself with a distance of 1.2 seconds over Maverick Varnador. Field past the halfway mark, 5 in. Devin Dixon, the class of the field. Looks like Josh Sigler in the 119 is going to retire his car from the race. He'll pull into the infield as Dixon sails off into turn 3. Clear track ahead of him. 2 to go signal from Derek Powell to indicate to the race that they are going 2 more times here. If anybody can make any headway, they need to do so. Opportunities are running out. Dixon adding more to that lead as he'll come by to get the white flag and finish it up. Devin Dixon in command. Watching that battle between Thomas and Nieheiser. That's happening a half track behind your race leader. Checkered flag for the 4th time. Devin Dixon is in the A main. David Poland will be joining him for the 3rd time he'll be in the A. And the rest of the cars will be relegated to a B feature. So the top 2 cars moving on into the A main, the rest going to the B feature. A couple of cars to come out of the infield. Heat race number 1 completed, and we'll be back with more here at East Bay Raceway Park. Field begins to move away behind the East Bay Raceway Park pace truck as the 2nd heat event is on the racetrack. On the pole, he made 3 A mains. Car number 99J, the beak build of Trev Jacoby. Outside of him, 2-time feature runner, the car 0 of Damian Kiefer. So it's an all-Missouri front row in this 2nd heat event. 2nd row will line up with Jeremy Rayburn, driver of the car number 11R. We're scheduled to see the 27 of Jason Garver. And do not see that car. The 77 of Ray Bollinger is there. The car 90 of Tim Gay. You've got the 23Z of Austin Self. Continuing in the lineup, the orange 8C of Corey Bavard out of Huntington, Indiana. And rounding out the field will be Billy Updegraff, driver of the car number 10X. He is from Glasgow, Kentucky. 2 Missouri drivers, 2 Florida drivers. In Indiana, Kentucky, and Illinois, and Ohio, and a North Carolina. Good mixture here in that 2nd heat event. Jacoby trying to make it a perfect week from Wednesday as he has 3 A mains on the books. Had a 15th place run, a 3rd place last night, and a 22nd on Thursday. That 22nd may be the bugaboo for him as we now get Jason Garver's 27G out onto the racetrack. He'll start at the tail rather than outside 2nd row. Jason Garver, a feature winner on Monday night. It's time to go. 8 laps of modified racing. Kiefer on the outside takes the advantage by a length down the back straightaway. Jacoby staying right with him, forced down to the bottom. He's better up at the top, he seems to think. Right now, just take the lead by a length as they come by. Now Kiefer up the racetrack, and Jeremy Rayburn going to seize the opportunity. Jeremy Rayburn up to second in car 11. Tim Gay has moved up to fourth as Kiefer to the bottom, challenging Rayburn for second. Rayburn's going to have it by a length down the back straightaway. Kiefer not going quietly. He's going to put the nose down there. They race off into turn 3 side by side now. Rayburn sideways lost a little momentum. It's going to be Kiefer's advantage. Kiefer slides up the hill. Rayburn lets him go, wants to keep the bottom side. Kiefer has it by a length down the back straightaway. That's a challenge for second. Jacoby walks away from the rest of the field at the halfway mark. Damian Kiefer getting a little breathing room now as that battle, best battle on the track, is fourth place. Garver, who's going to squeeze by Tim Gay and move into fourth position after starting at the back of the field. Gained a lot of ground, but passing points don't do him any good with this one. Look out, Garver up near the wall in turn 2. Jacoby 2 to go this time. The 99J leads the way. Second is Damian Kiefer. Third, Jeremy Rayburn. Fourth, Jason Garver. Fifth, Tim Gay. Pretty much spreading them out all across this racetrack for the white flag. Clear racetrack between the leader and the checkered flag, and he's going to see it. The win goes to Trev Jacoby in car 99J. Second will be Damian Kiefer. Third, Jeremy Rayburn. Good battle mid-race between the second place car of Damian Kiefer and the third place car of Jeremy Rayburn. Kiefer's going to advance along with Trev Jacoby. The results of heat race number 2. 3 more heat races yet to come at the Winter Nationals at East Bay Raceway Park. Rodney Wing at the pole position on the third of 5 heat races we're going to see. Top 2 finishers in this heat race will move on. Wing, another driver 3 times in the A-main. 4th place run last night. Alan Weiser, the A-dog, on the outside of row number 1. Row 2 to the inside. Up and down week for the 17 of Chris Wilson. Wilson 4th in the B the first night. 11th in the A, and then back to 3rd in the B. Outside of him in that position, Ben Harmon made the A-main last night. He's in car 1H. Mike Petoskey has paid a visit into the A. He's trying to get back there best he can. He'll be joined by Dave Wheatholder's 05. You have the car 25 of Josh Lomaw, the 75R of local racer Jason Russell, and Jason Cox in 77C. 9 cars scheduled to be a part of this one. A little bit out of sorts, but we'll get them there. As Russell moves up behind Wheatholder and fills out the field. 8 laps in heat race number 2. Receiver system providing some of the information to the drivers as they get set to get this one underway. Wing, one of the faster cars in the practice session. See if that can translate as he gets ready to bring the field down for the green flag. Front row going to stay side by side down the back straightaway. Wing has the advantage by 3/4 of a length going to turn 3. Wilson stays on the bottom back in third to watch it all happen. Now Wilson closing in on Weiser in the 25W. He'll pull up right behind him. That battle for second going to manifest itself as they go on into turn 3. Wilson keeps the car down in the bottom, looking for the short way around the racetrack. Weiser still has second last time by. Wing moving out to the lead, but again, Wilson gets a good jump. He'll try to take it down the backside. Doesn't go back as far this time. Has a little less work to do getting into turn 3, but now just keeping the car on the bottom without spinning it out could be a problem. He gets the job done that time by as he'll continue to spar with the 25W. Now works up the racetrack. Lost a little bit of momentum on that one. Meanwhile, Horton watching it all happen in the 1H back in fourth spot. Your leader is Rodney Wing at the halfway mark. Wilson renews his challenge on Alan Weiser. Weiser, one of those guys that just missed out last night trying to get back into the A main. Wilson's made 1 out of 3. He'd like to even it up right here. Wilson with the look as we have 5 down and about to pick up lap number 6. So Wilson running out of time. Weiser just trying to hold him off. Wing out front, chasing down the 77C of Jason Cox. Cox could be a factor in this one, but the white flag is going to be the factor immediately. Now can Wilson find something, anything on this last lap? Or is Weiser going to hold his own? Both drivers keeping their line the way they want it. Meanwhile, in the back straightaway, the 77C spins in front of the leader, and the caution will wave because the car is sitting in the wrong position on the back straightaway, unable to get into the infield. The 77C goes around on the back straightaway, and caution with 7 up on the board. So the rough week continues for Clinton, Indiana racer Jason Cox. Driver of the car 77C. He's going to require a little bit of extra assistance to get away from the situation that he has in the back straightaway. Oh, what is that going to do now? Weiser is choosing the bottom on the restart. Going ahead and make it well known that he wants to keep the bottom and force Wilson into the outside on just a 1-lap shootout in this third heat event. Of course, watching it very interestingly, Ben Harmon's car 1H, if they happen to make an error, then he wants to be able to capitalize on that error. Of course, those drivers, veterans, and seldom make any kind of errors. Big lead for Rodney Wing, wiped away by that caution flag. Wing only has 1 lap to defend his position. The nose of the car up in the air, and soon we'll be clearing the seas back in the straightaway. Thanks once again to the safety crew for the job that they do, keep the racing program going here tonight and protecting the equipment of these drivers. As race control takes one final look at the lineup, and it's good enough. That's exactly what they want to see here. The big question remains with that final transfer spot from this heat race not decided. Of course, any of them haven't been decided. Wing experienced a problem in the late stages of one of our feature races earlier this week, and then rather than take the chance of ruining somebody else's night, he sportsmanlike pulled out of the race. Took a finish outside the top 20. That's then. This is now. Rodney Wing, 33W, fires, and we're underway. Good start for Weiser. Wilson right there with him. Chris Wilson's going to have to drive the outside, and he does. Will Weiser have enough to catch him back when they get back to the corners here? As the only flag remaining is the checkered flag. It's going to be Rodney Wing and Chris Wilson. Chris Wilson back into the A main. So Wilson taking advantage of that caution. Had one of the faster laps of the entire race on that last lap, a 17:239, second only to Wing's fast lap of 16:992. So Wilson found speed from the outside on that restart and got himself in position unofficially to make himself a way into the A feature for tonight. 6 drivers have qualified for the A main. We'll be back with the fourth heat race coming right up. Heat number 4 goes with Brian Skaggs in the 20 on the pole. Outside of him will be the 205 of Travis Varnador. Second row inside, the 18C of Miles Cook. The second with Jeff Matthews in car 33. Row 3 to the inside, Corey Balke's car number 9 and the 16H of West Virginia's Justin Hart. Jeremy Owens in the 81 will be inside of the Tim McCafferty car 64M. And the final starting spot will be the 9 of Austin Odell. That is the 9A. Balke is in the white number 9 with a blue number. Odell in the car at the tail of the field, indicating the difference between those two 9s. The Austin Odell car officially known as 9A. Again, a few drivers in this field would welcome an opportunity to be a part of their first A main. Skaggs not one of them. He's been involved in all 3 so far since the points started counting. Travis Varnador, on the other hand, was a DNS on the first night, then backed it up with a 10th and an 8th, as he will be on the outside on the start of heat race number 4. And this one is a green flag. Matthews wastes no time getting in the mix from the second row. Found that opening to the inside now as he'll make his way to the inside of Varnador. Behind Skaggs, Travis Varnador drives it off into the corner. Matthews a little harder and gets it there first. Jeff Matthews takes over second. Matthews not content for second. He's coming after the lead spot as Brian Skaggs has that in car 20. Matthews puts the bottom to his test It's going to be Skaggs holding it on. Here comes Balke. Balke in the 4th spot, challenging Varnador. While the lead 2 spar, it's going to be Varnador gets away from the 9 for the time being. He'll have to move to the bottom to see if he can find a lane. Looks like 3 wide off the corner. Something's got to give in that one as the 9 car goes in, slides up. Varnador's on the outside with no place to go. He'll fall back to 4th, and Corey Balke will take over the 3rd position right behind Jeff Matthews and your leader Brian Skaggs. Varnador nearly sideways off turn 4. He'll straighten it up and get going once again while the front 3 cars break away from the rest of the field. Matthews playing defense in the 33. Each of these drivers in the A main last night. Now Balke contact. Matthews straightens it up and keeps going. 2 to go. Now more contact, and around goes the 33. And the 9 slides to a stop down at the bottom. That was a battle for the 2nd place, and we'll see how race control saw that one. Two cars making contact over in turn 4, and then contact renewed over in turn 1. Caution charge to the 9 car. The 33 of Matthews will re-inherit 2nd place. Still got one more spot to get to, and here he comes. We'll take the inside line on this restart. 2 laps left to decide it. Travis Varnador now moved up into the 3rd spot. He's looking to get back into the A main here tonight. A couple of Florida drivers sparing in the 2nd row. 1st row, of course, being Skaggs all by himself. Boy, they want to get close to that leader, that's for sure. Just 2 laps to settle this one as Varnador hops up to the outside on Matthews. Varnador with the advantage, now closing in on the race leader. Skaggs to the bottom to the white flag. Matthews slide job. Varnador says, I'll take the bottom then. It's going to be Brian Skaggs down the back straightaway. 2nd spot, Jeff Matthews. Varnador running out of time. Skaggs to the win. Matthews to 2nd. Two cars moving on. The car 33 of Jeff Matthews and the car 20 of Brian Skaggs. One more heat left to decide 2 more spots here at the Winter Nationals at East Bay Raceway Park. For those of you among our number here at East Bay Raceway Park, 50-50 tickets remain on sale. You can get yours here tonight. Drawing coming up later on in tonight's program. 50-50 tickets on sale. Final heat race on the racetrack now. As we see the car 8A of Austin Holcomb taking up the top spot. Outside of him, pair of 8s in this row. Jimmy Lennox in his car number 8 will start on the outside. Second row inside, the 64 of Austin Sanders with the 24 car of Zeke McKenzie. Rob Fuquay in car number 3F will line up to the inside of Rick Connier's car 14C. You have the 5 of Bobby Bagley with the 23B of Scott Bain. Final starting spot will be St. Petersburg, Florida racer Mason Love in the 0L. Holcomb on the point, another one of those drivers just barely missing out. 3A main visits, 1 top 5 with a 4th place run. He had a 23rd on Thursday and then a 15th last night. And those 2 finishes not to his benefit. Meanwhile, Jimmy Lennox, pay no attention to that 85 on the top. It's actually car number 8. Lennox, an 8th place run on Wednesday, a 19th place run on Thursday, failed to make the A main last night. Austin Sanders made all 3 A mains, 23rd, 21st, and 18th. So he and Holcomb could be the ones to go 4 in a row if they both qualify. But let's see what Jimmy Lennox and Zeke McKenzie have to say about that. Well, Jimmy Lennox doesn't give up second. Sanders goes around. Also, looks like Connier's car 14 is there. Several cars stopping behind them, as only 5 cars are able to make their way through. Mason Love able to make his way through as well. So it looks like everybody from the 3rd row back, with the exception of Love. Bagley is there. Fuquay is there. Connier is there. Scott Bain rolls away in the 23B. So several cars involved in that mishap. Bagley in the 5 was caught up in a mess on the front straightaway last night and forced out of his race and out of contention. Looks like everybody's going to continue in this. Holcomb and Lennox in the front row. Sanders joined by McKenzie in the 2nd row. Fuquay to the inside of Connier in the 3rd row. 4th row with Bagley's 5 and the 23B of Bain and the 0 of Mason Love. They'll try it one more time in turn 4. Everybody safely through turn 2, and Austin Holcomb leads the way. Jimmy Lennox running 2nd. Zeke McKenzie on the bottom 3rd. Bagley pulls up beside the 3, trying to make something go there. Lennox, meanwhile, holds off McKenzie. McKenzie slides up the racetrack in front of Sanders, all chasing your race leader, Austin Holcomb. Field begins to spread out just a little bit here. Suddenly, Zeke McKenzie has his sights set on Jimmy Lennox. We'll see what he's going to try to do from the top. Lennox is committed to the bottom. Has it by, a little bit of a length there, but then you see some contact on the right rear of the 8 car. They're going to crowd each other going down the back straightaway. 5 laps in, McKenzie on the move. He's got 2nd. Zeke McKenzie will move up into the second spot. Jimmy Lennox back to third. Holcomb riding away from the field. McKenzie settles second. Lennox third. Fourth is Sanders. Fifth, Fuquay. White flag for your race leader. Now it appears as if there might be a little something going to miss with that 24. He's driving it hard to the end. Whether that's a rub or whether that's an engine, we'll find out. Checkered flag comes out. It's Austin Holcomb, Zeke McKenzie. It's Austin Holcomb, Zeke McKenzie, and Jimmy Lennox. Your winner in the event, Austin Holcomb, second, will be taken by the 24 of Zeke McKenzie. That completes all our heat races. We'll get the B-race lineups and come back your way here from the WinterNationals at East Bay Raceway Park. The hot lap session and redraw, that's coming up next. Understand a couple of more cars yet to roll up into the staging area for tonight's hot lap session. Drivers wanted to get out on the racetrack before the B mains to get some idea, and they'll also be drawing for their starting spot in the first 3 rows. Get a chance to hear what the drivers have to say. These are the drivers that had earned their spots by virtue of being among the top 6 in the point standings for the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday racing action. Again, here at East Bay Raceway Park, we are continuing the sale of 50-50 tickets. First car on the racetrack is the car number 7. He had a runner-up finish. That is Brad DeYoung from Wheatfield, Indiana. Right behind him, 2-time feature winner. Back-to-back Thursday and Friday, the car number 09 out of Sun River, Montana, Michael Leach. You've got 2-time feature winner this week from Paris, Tennessee, the car 12L of Lucas Lee. Right behind them goes Ryan Gerke. He's been nothing but steady all week long in that 26G as the Minnesota racer made all the A mains, which is what he needed to do. And every night, a top 10 finish, a 5th, a 7th, and a 10th. Right behind him, feature winner Cole Charneski. Charneski, racer out of Denmark, Wisconsin, drives the car 21CZ. And the car number 8 of Kyle Strickler from Mooresville, North Carolina. Those are your 6 cars that accumulated the top points throughout the week. There were 5 nights of racing previous. Only 3 carried points along with them: Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Once these drivers finish their hot lap session, they will park the cars on the front straightaway and they will draw for their starting position. See who's going to be on the pole for tonight's 75-lap A main. Be interesting to watch the times on these racers now. Signal's been given that we're going to go green. Everybody nice and spaced out here. Checkered flag coming out on the field of cars as a few drivers dipping into the 16-second bracket. Ryan Gerke, 17.430. Brad DeYoung, 17.321. Lucas Lee, 17.096. Cole Charneski at a 17.011. Michael Leach, meanwhile, put up a time of 16.772. Kyle Strickler, the fastest of the bunch, as he went to a time of 16.396. And so now all the cars will be stopping on the front straightaway. We'll get a chance to see the draw to determine who starts in what position for tonight's 75-lap A main.
Well, we have made our way onto the front straightaway once again here at East Bay Raceway Park. Top 6 in overall week-long point standings, completing their hot lap session. They're going to stop, shut off the cars, come climbing on out, and redraw for the front 3 rows of the main event tonight. Looks like all the cars are off. They will shut them off, come climbing on out. We'll talk to these guys real quick. So we'll get the drivers to come on up here. Last couple of them unbuckling and making their way onto the front straightaway. It's starting already. It's starting already. So wait for Cole Charneski to come rolling on up here, jumping out of that 21 car. As we've done for the past, 10 years or so, we've got some Hungry Howie's pizza boxes here on the front straightaway. Each of them has a number in it. Driver will walk up. They'll pick a number. That'll be their starting spot for tonight's main event. We will talk with the driver that had the most points accumulated throughout the week first, Michael Leach. Come on up here in the 09, please. Just come on up here first. We're going to have a quick conversation. The camera's up there. You get the opportunity to either draw first or draw last. That's one thing you get to choose.